So I have wanted to start my own podcast for such a long time now, and YouTube releasing their podcast features was exactly the motivation I needed to get started. Because I don't know, or I actually know that the podcast won't be any good when I start off, and that's the reason why I have been putting it off for such a long time, because I wanted it to be perfect when I first started. And then I suddenly learned the fact that it's never going to be perfect and you're never going to be ready. You will always have something to improve, and the best way to start improving is actually by doing the thing. You can practice as much as you want, but it won't be the same as actually starting, practicing, and getting better. The same goes for my English, not just the podcast, but speaking English in front of the camera. I find it quite hard. It is not my first language, it's actually my third language. But I have to start somewhere and practice and get better. And there will always be room for improvement. And if you try to get it perfect the first time, you will probably never start at all. So I just decided that this was the motivation I needed to start my own video podcast. And hopefully one day I will be able to have guests and film the podcast somewhere else than in my own living room with my sewing machine behind me. But right now I just have to start a solo podcast like this and get better every single day and post as much as I possibly can and do research and make good content and get better. That's like the only recipe for success. And this is me starting, and I always wanted my podcast to be about mental health, productivity, and good workflows, because I co-founded a clothing brand. I have a job. I wrote and published a book. I do a lot of things in my life, and I love having many things to do. But to be able to pull everything off and still have some time to spend with family, friends, watching football, and doing the things I love in my spare time. Not that I don't love doing this is actually the thing I love the most, but doing other things as well. And to be able to do everything I want, I have to stick to a good schedule. I have to be quite productive. I have to make plans and have good strategies in place, because to add on everything I have to do, I also struggle a lot with my mental health. I have bipolar disorder, which means that a routine is quite important for me to be able to do everything I want and to do it well every single day. So I wanted to talk about how it feels like struggling with your mental health, how I got through it, and also a lot about how you can spend your time more wisely, because you will never get your time back, and it's important to spend time on the things that really matters to you, because you won't get your time back. It's that simple. And learning good ways to spend your time and to be conscious about what you're spending your time on. And we all have a lot of tasks we don't want to do, and to make good systems to get everything rolling faster, especially the tasks that you find tedious and don't want to do. You should have good system in place to be able to do them as fast as possible and get the most out of life. Many people think that structure is destroying creativity. I believe that structure enables creativity, and I have spent a lot of time, or not a lot of time, a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, because I'm only 23 years old, and I've spent a lot of time trying to find a system that works for me. And I have tried every single app out there, I have tried everything, and I have finally found a system that works for me. And I want to talk about all of my experiences and the things I have learned. So that's what I have always wanted my podcast to be about, and I am finally starting, and hopefully many of you will join me in this journey of getting better, practicing and delivering good quality content to everyone who is listening. So this is my first try on a video podcast, and we'll see in a couple of years if it gets any better. Thank you for watching this first episode, and I will hopefully will see you again quite soon.